Welcome students. Today we are going to cover your external environment. So it refers to the factors existing outside the business firm. The external factors are beyond the control of the company. Hence its success depends to the adaptability of the environment. Four major factors of external environment are customers, suppliers, market intermediaries, competitors. So when I talk about the customers, the people who buy and use a firm's product and services are an important part of external microenvironment. Since sales of products or services is critical for a firm's survival and growth, it is necessary to keep the customer satisfied. So to take care of customer sensitivity is essential for the success of a business firm. A firm has different categories of customers. For example, a car manufacturing firm such as Maruti Udyog has individuals, companies, institutions, government as its customers. Maruti Udyog therefore has catered to the needs of all these type of customers by producing different varieties of models or cars. Similarly, if I talk about some another business, suppose if I talk about a manufacturing business, and they are the vendor of the Maruti, so they will be supplying their product to the Maruti. So their customer is Maruti, whom they have to satisfy. Now they have to keep the Maruti Udyog satisfied with their product. Similarly, if a company is manufacturing a product which directly goes to the customer without any intermediaries, then they have to keep their customer satisfied, and customer is satisfied when the needs of the customers are fulfilled, and when the customers needs are fulfilled, it is known as the quality product. Second is the suppliers. When I talk about the suppliers, it is an important external environment of a firm, as suppliers of its inputs such as raw material and components. Supplier supplies the inputs such as raw material and the components to the company, and if the quality input is there, then you will get the quality output. So input raw material should be of a quality product. A smooth and efficient working of a business firm requires that it should have ensured supply of inputs such as raw materials. If supply of raw material is uncertain, then a firm will have to keep a large stock of raw material to continue its transformation process uninterrupted, and the inventory cost. This will unnecessarily raise its cost of product and reduce its profit margin, because a lot of money is blocked with you, and if you have blocked the money, it cannot go to the market for circulation. If it is not in circulation, that means it's a dead amount which is lying aside, and you are losing the interest which you may gain when it is in circulation. So to ensure regular supply of inputs such as raw material, some firms adopt a strategy of backward integration and set up captive production plants for producing raw material and themselves. Third is the market intermediaries. In a firm, external environment marketing intermediaries plays an essential role of selling and distributing its product to the final buyers. Marketing intermediaries include agents and merchants such as a distribution firm, wholesaler, retailers. Marketing intermediaries are responsible for stocking and transporting goods from their production site to their destination sites, that is ultimate buyers. There are marketing service agencies such as marketing research firms, consulting firms, advertising agencies which assist a business firms in targeting, promoting and selling its product to the right market. Thus, marketing is an important link between a business firm and its ultimate buyers. A dislocation of this link will adversely affect the fortune of a company. A few years ago, chemists and druggists in India declared a collective boycott of leading pharma company because it was providing a low retail margin. They succeeded in raising this margin. This shows that business firm must take care of its intermediaries if it has to succeed in this age of intense competition. It is must part. And last but not the least is the competitors. Business firms compete with each other not only for sale of their products but also in other areas. Absolute monopolies, in case of which competition is totally absent, are found only in the sphere of what are called the public utilities such as power distribution, telephone service, gas distribution in a city, etc. More generally, I should say that market forms of monopolistic competition and differentiated oligopolies exist in the real world. In these market forms, different firms in an industry compete with each other for sale of their products. This competition may be on the basis of pricing of their products, but more frequently there is non-price competition, under which firm engage in competition through competitive advertising, sponsoring some events such as cricket matches for sale of different varieties and models of their products, each claiming the superior nature of their products. This is competitors. Now we come to the next environment, that is micro environment. When I say micro environment, we have the suppliers, customers, market intermediaries, competitors and public. We have already covered all these topics. They were the factors of micro environment. Now we come to the next major category, that is the macro environment. When I say macro external business environment, that means you can remember these factors with the name of PESTLE. P is for psychological, P is for political, E is for economic. Let me show you. Great. P is for political factors, E is for economic factors, S is for social factors, T is for technological factors, and another T is the demographic factors, and last one is the legal factors. So this is also known as with the name of PESTLE. So we will talk about the 6 factors in this. External business environment consists of social factors, political factors, technological factors, demographic factors, legal factors and economic factors. In these, if I talk about the social environment, the social environment of business includes social factors like customs, traditions, values, beliefs, poverty, literacy, life expectancy rate, etc. And the social structure and the values that a society cherishes have a considerable influence on the functioning of business firms. For example, during festive season, there is an increase in the demand for new clothes, sweets, fruits, flowers, etc. Due to increase in literacy rate, the consumer are becoming more conscious about the quality of the product. Due to change in family composition, more nuclear families with single child concept have come up. This increases the demand for the different type of household goods. It may be noted that the consumption pattern, the dressing and living style of people belonging to different social structures and cultures are very differently. Then is the political factors. This include the political system, the government policies and the attitude towards the business community and the unionism. All the aspects have a bearing on the strategies adopted by the business firms. The stability of the government also influences business and related activities to great extent. It sends a signal of strength, confidence to various interest groups and investors. Further, ideology of the political party also influences the business organization and its operations. You may be aware about the Coca-Cola, a cold drink widely used even now, had to wind up operations in India in late 70s. Again, the trade union activities also influence the operations of the business enterprises. And the recent is your Maruti. Maruti is a very big, and the contract labor of Maruti was against the policies of the Maruti. Contractor labor union was against the policies of Maruti. So for that they agitated, they went to the strikes, lockouts and labor disputes, and this led to the shutdown of one plant at Manesar of Maruti, which is again a very good brand. So the trade union activities also influence the operation of the business enterprise. Most of the labor unions in India are affiliated to business political parties. Strikes, lockouts, labor disputes, etc. also adversely affect the business operation. However, with the competitive business environment, trade unions are now showing great maturity and started contributing positively to the success of the business organization and its operation through workers' participation in the management. Then the third factor is your legal environment. This refers to set of laws, regulations which influences the business, which influences the business organizations and their operations. Every business organization has to obey and work within the framework of the law. The important legislation act concerns the business enterprises include the Companies Act 1956, Foreign Exchange Management Act 1999, the Factories Act 1948, Industrial Dispute Act 1972, Payment of Gratuity Act 1972, Industries Development and Regulation Act 1951, Prevention of Food Adulteration Act 1954, Essential Commodities Act 2002, the Standards of Weights and Measures Act 1956, Monopolies and Restrictive Trade Practices Act 1969, Trademarks Act 1999, Bureau of Indian Standards Act 1986, Consumer Protection Act 1986, Environmental Protection Act and Competition Act 2002. Besides the above legislation, there are some more legal requirements which may come, that is your provision of the constitution, judicial decisions which are also important. Provision of the constitution is the provision of articles of the Indian constitution that provide directive principles, rights and duties of citizens, legislative powers of the central and state government, and it also influences the operation of business enterprise, whereas judicial decisions has to ensure that the legislature and the government function in the interest of public and act within the boundaries of constitution. The various judgments given by the court in different matters relating to trade and industry also influence the business activities. So, this all constitute the legal environment. Next one is the technological environment. When I say technological environment, it includes the methods, techniques and approaches adopted for production of goods and services and its distribution. The varying technological environments of different countries affect the designing of the products. For example, in USA and many other countries, electrical appliances are designed for 110 volts, but when these are made in India, they have to be of 220 volts. So, in the modern competitive age, the pace technological changes are very fast. So, in order to survive, grow in the market, a business has to adopt the technological changes from time to time. It may be noted that scientific research for improvement and innovation in products and services is a regular activity in most of big industrial organizations. So, nowadays in fact, no firm can afford to persist with the outdated technologies. Next is the demographic environment. This refers to the size, density, distribution and growth of the population, or I should say growth rate of the population. All these factors have a direct bearing on the demand for various goods and services. For example, in our country, in India, where population rate is high and children constitute a large section of population, then there is more demand for baby products. Similarly, the product of people of cities, towns are different than the people of rural areas. The high rise of population indicates the easy availability of labor. These encourage the business enterprises to use labor, motivates the firm to set up their units in such area. For example, the business units from America, Canada, Australia, Germany, UK are coming to India due to easy availability of skilled manpower. So, it depends upon the availability of the factors, and demographic factor is the major factor. Also we can say ecological factor. Then is the natural environment. The natural environment includes geographical and ecological factors that influence the business operations. These factors include the availability of natural resources, weather and climatic conditions, location aspect, topographical factors. Business is greatly influenced by the nature of natural environment. For example, sugar factories are set up in only those places where sugar cane can be grown. It is always considered better to establish manufacturing unit near the sources of input. For example, all the major pharmaceutical companies are found in Himachal Pradesh, because that is the hilly area and the herbs which are required for developing the medicine are available over there. So, raw product can be made available easily in that area. So, further government policy is to maintain ecological balance, conservation of natural resources, etc., put additional responsibility of the business sector. So, this is the macro environment. There are stakeholders for this. if I talk about the stakeholders, we have internal stakeholders and the external stakeholders. Internal stakeholders are our employees, manager and owners, whereas external stakeholders of the companies are supplier, society, government, creditors, customers and shareholders. Next, we have uncontrollable external factors which can be classified into economic environment and non-economic environment. Students, we will take economic environment and non-economic environment in our next session. So, for today it's over. We have done the external factors today. In external factors, we have studied all the pestle. We have studies all the factors, that is political factor, economic factor, natural environment, demographic environment, technological environment, legal environment and the social environment. So, for today, thank you so much.